se il lecturer
So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second lecture of the level 2024. And today's title is Confined Spaces, a Journey through Architectural Representation and Intention. And our lecturer today is Mr. Stancato. And this is introduced by Mr. Gabriele.
So at least. The presentation. Architect by Heritage Gabriele is a shared fellow in Laboratory of Urban Simulation Faculty, Department of Architecture and Urban Studies, where collaborates on research projects related to experiential simulation with extended reality solutions for sensory urban design. He participated in the European High School 2020 Digital City Project, which title was Augmented Reality for Collaborative Urban Planning in 2019 and 2020, in which he contributed to implement the new core design method with augmented virtual reality. His research is oriented toward the development of machine learning algorithms. His research is oriented toward the development of machine learning algorithms to study and anticipate human-environment relationship, with particular reference to the role of experiential simulation of urban design from the concept phase to the project evaluation and presentation of the project. But he is here especially because during his doctoral thesis in architectural theory and project at Sapienza University of Rome, he developed a research on architectural freedom and control, with particular regard to prison spaces, where, as you can understand, the main problem is the balance between freedom and control, between privacy and security. It is also the question of the physical and psychological boundaries, and in that, the question of limits of architecture with the architectural limits. Many were the questions that this thesis poses. What is the assessment of the value of privacy that can be allowed in inclusion how to measure it, what are the key quality aspects to ensure adequate security at the level of privacy, what kind of games can be considered to provide control and freedom, and now let's listen to his lecture and thank Gabriele Stancato for being here with us.
Thank you for having me today. Before starting with the main topic, that is the architecture of prisons, I want to very briefly introduce my current job, my current work. Okay. That it is partially inspired by to the experience of my PhD research, as you will see at the end. I'm working on a project funded by the National Resilience Plan that involves several universities together and different departments, such as the University of degli Studi di Milano, University of Bicocca, Politecnico di Milano, and professionals that work on acoustic, environmental psychology, bioengineer, and design, urban design, interior, and so on. So it is a very complex project. In this experimentation, we use different sensors, such as a tracker, skin conductance, respiration, heart rate, and even EEG, electroencephalogram, to assess how the individual reacts to their environment, and especially the urban environment. We are interested in drawing a map of emotional and cognitive reaction of person in the environment. And for this purpose, we have developed a method that has a patent, as you can see, that involves the data collection through the mobile app that uses augmented reality, collect the psychological data that we have developed with the questionnaire that we have developed with environmental psychologists, machine learning and clustering techniques, and we can then specialize this information with what is named ISOBs that describe the actual space that someone can see in a specific position in an environment, generating semantic ISOBs. So a field of view merged with psychological data. So, jumping to the main topic, I want to start with the history of prison, because the history of prison is an evolution of a concept of society, a concept of power, a concept of relationship between the society, the urban environment, and the individual. The most ancient building that still exists, and actually you can visit this building in Rome, is the Mamertino prison. The Mamertino prison is very peculiar because it was not created as a prison at the beginning. The Mamertino was a water cistern at the beginning. So the Romans used this just as a storage for people waiting for the real punishment that usually was more cruel and cruel than just being in this place. But if we read the word of Sallustio describing the Mamertino, the idea was that this place in a way represent and mirror the idea of the crime committed by the person. So it was secret, dark, and hidden as the crime that the person tried to hide. And it was dirt as the moral value of the person. This structure was replicated during the Middle Age, and we can see a representation of this layout by Gabriele in his dictionary. And this is Chateau de Pierrefonds. And as you can see, for centuries, the idea of imprisonment was that the criminal should be directly in the place of power, just below the place of power, but connected to the centrality of power. And the idea of imprisonment is just related to the body. So you are storing body of people for an indiscriminate period of time. In the meanwhile, something changed in Rome, because in Rome, the prison started to become something more similar to a business. So you can see in several centuries that the most powerful families in Rome start to manage specific building dedicated to specific crime and different kind of social level. So there are prison for religious, prison for lay people, prison for rich, and prison for poor. And one of the most famous prison in Rome, and actually probably one of the most infamous prison in Rome, is the Curia Savelli, managed by the Savelli family, that organized this building in a very promiscuous way, because in this building there was no differentiation between adult and minors. They were all together. And moreover, the cells of male inmates were very close to the cells dedicated to the female inmates. So this place was terrible in terms of health, quality of food, quality of light, and quality of spaces. And it could seem natural if we think of the Middle Age, because we have this idea of the Dark Age where anything could happen. But actually, it was a problem even in this period. And Leon Battista Alberti and Palladio started rethinking the concept of prison. In the idea of Alberti, even the use of bars and grid was silly, and even an invite to find an ingenious way to escape a prison. It was an invitation to invent a way to escape. And not only this author, but other authors, other architects started to think that the prison should be a temporary place, not the place of punishment, but just a temporary place where someone is confined to spend a time in finding a new way, a new relationship with society. So some author tried to pose a layout of the prison where the prison is outside horrible, frightening, while inside is comfortable with beautiful large gardens where a person can find a new definition of himself. So we can see that there are, in a way, two different souls in society. An idea of cruel punishment, and an idea of restoration. So following this direction, following this stream of ideas, Pope Innocenzo X Confili in 1652 decided that this condition was enough. The nobility family shouldn't control the justice directly. The justice should be controlled from the centrality of the powers, in this case, the church. And moreover, the shape of the prison and the organization of the prison should be changed. So it started projects of the new prisons next to the Julia Street. And the idea was to invent a brand new design for prisons, so a milder and safer prison. So the idea was to have an infirmary directly in the prison, the management of the prison inside the building and not outside, because the powerful family obviously lived in a very different area. So they just gained money from the prison, but they weren't interested in how the prison was managed. So the idea was no, the control, the management should be inside the prison, directly connected to the space used by the inmates, with open spaces such as garden. In this building, you can see there are two twin small gardens for outdoor activities, and all the elements of power are exactly in the middle of the building to have direct connection with the person inside, with people inside the prison. And also the organization is very precise. So depending on the level of the building, we have high-level criminality, low-level criminality, and so on. And we have also an important division by sex and age. This is the first time that this happened. Another very important step is the St. Michael House of Correction. This building is considered the first example of modern prison attraction. The very first example of modern prison attraction. Here we can see the organization as a block of cells. But what is more important, this is a building dedicated just to the younger minors. And this is the beginning of this idea of that you can re-engage people. You can find a new way to reconstruct the relationship between a person and the society through education. So in this case, the education was religious education. So the study of the Bible, the study of the religious values, moral values, and so on. But it was the beginning. And in fact, we can see that all the cells are designed to have a direct view toward the upper, the central upper. And there is an important use of light in the longitudinal and transversal axis to have a narrow place. And for the first time, not exactly because it was experimented also a few years before in Florence, but we have the galleries that connect vertically between So here, the idea that the prison should be a temporary place and not the final condition of a person, that you can still have a relationship with the criminal, and the criminal can become again a citizen, starts from here, from this building. The entire layout of this building was conceived with this idea by Carlo Fontana. But something happened at the end of the 18th century. In 1791, Jeremy Bentham proposed a very famous layout that is named the panopticon, that literally means thing end. You can see the panopticon, everything opticon, see, beauty. Probably, who knows this project? Probably do not consider that Jeremy Bentham didn't invent this. The original project of the panopticon was by his brother. And it wasn't a prison. It was factory. So the idea was that, the idea was that the boss controlled the workers on the perimeter from the central tower. This was the first idea. And actually, it was the way that Jeremy Bentham used it for telling his layout to the government. The idea was that this was a very cost-effective and economically efficient layout, because the number of guards and controllers is reduced to a few people or even one person that can control a multitude. Just one side. So you need that a few people on more place. And in the panopticon, the idea of the layout of the panopticon is that the guard can control in direct visual connection all the cells, the circular perimeter, while the inmates can never see the control that is hidden inside the tower. And in the interpretation of Foucault, this is the very first inversion in our society compared to the Greek culture. Because in Greek culture, that was so connected to the use of theater as a tool for society, for understand the relationship between people, power, and society. A multitude could see a few people acting in the scene. But in the panopticon, we have a total inversion. A few people, or even just one person, can see a multitude. So the scene is no more the center, but it is the perimeter. The panopticon is the inversion of it. This schema has been replicated in different buildings. So it was a very famous schema for a period. But very soon, the government discovered that this building was not so efficient as the driver. Because you cannot infinitely increase the radius of the building if you want to maintain the visual connection between the guard, the controller, and the inmates. And it was a problem because in a society and in a city that was increasing its complexity, that was growing. Also, criminality was growing. Was the level of criminality and the type of criminality, depending on the law staff, increasing the complexity and follows. So even at the criminality. And so the government needed a different layout that can be increased virtual infinity in an infinitive way. And for this reason, a new layout was in America, in the USA, at the beginning of the 19th century. Actually, there were two different approaches, two experimental this period approaches to the problem of criminality. At this moment, in the USA, due to cultural, religious reasons, there was that society cannot more use physical punishment with people. You can no more punish physically the inmates. So they needed a brand new approach based on the idea of some minds, the educational approach. And they tried two different ways. The first way was the Cherry Hill method. In Cherry Hill, there were collective work activities and the possibility to talk one another and so on. Why? In open prison, there was no collective work activities, no activities at all, total isolation, no possibility to talk to another person at all, silence all day long, day and night, only meditation, only Bible reading, and silence for the entire period of imprisonment. This method led to having crazy. The inmates had a serious psychological problem. Very serious psychological problem. They became crazy, not just, it's not a joke. And some of them suicide. So the Auburn prison was a total failure. A total failure. So they abandoned this idea in favor of the Cherry Hill method. And this is the radial prison is the spin-off Cherry Hill, while Auburn was just a block. And if we see the Cherry Hill layout, we can recognize that it is a merge of the two different available layouts. The panopticon on one side and the block on the other side. We have the panopticon exactly at the center, that is the core of the prison, and then we have the blocks in a radial layout. So this was the method for an expansion of the panopticon. Because you can have the glass, the controllers at the center of the building, in the core, where they can see through blocks. So walking around the central tower, they can control all the blocks. And then you can have hundreds of inmates. You need just to enlarge the block. And this is a schema that has been replicated several times. After World War II, in Italy, some of our architects started to think that this solution was not an efficient solution, considering the human part of the imprisonment. And moreover, they knew how fascism, the Nazism, used prison. So they started to think that they had to invent the layout of the prison, removing the core from the prison. So the idea was not having more a central control. You can set free the layout and design a prison that is more a mirror of the a regular town. So in this case, Mario Ridolfi in 1953 decided to design at the center of the prison, not a tower, but an empty space. The idea on the base of this, the design is the square of the village. And also the building are differentiated according to this idea of the village. So we have the church, we have the factory, we have the dormitories, we have the laboratories, and so on. And moreover, in the design of Mario Ridolfi, the green area is the largest part of the layout. So the end open and green space is in a way the focus of this project. In another case, in the green zone of Nuoro, I want to show you, probably this is hidden. I want to just show you this. In the case of Nuoro, I decided not to show you this, but I changed my mind. In the case of Nuoro, that is a particular prison, because it is a prison for what in Italy is named 41 Ps. That means mafia and terrorism. So in this case, or even in this case, where having a strict control was considered pivotal, Mario Ridolfi decided to avoid the centrality of just a core and started thinking that a way to avoid this centrality was adding two different cores with two different aims. And the stronger one is not the tower of the gods, but it's the tower of the church. And he also designed block cells not as a repetition of the same module, but as a progressive geometry to consider all possible variations. So a person that needs his space, individual space, and need to be isolated from other groups. People that can stay together in a smaller number or a larger number. So even in this case, we have an attack to the centrality of the power. This is probably the most important project of prison in Italy by Sergio Lenci in 1916. In this case, the same project of Rebibi actually started during the fascism, but he reinvented the idea of prison and decided, also in this case, that the empty green area is the most important area. The buildings are low-rise buildings, designed with the same material and in a way similar to the building that surrounds prison. And to avoid the previous prevalence were grid, he decided to rotate the entire grid with a 60 degrees triangular mesh that organized all the shape of this building. And he also removed the vertical connection of the different levels of building to avoid the possibility of suicide that some cases happen in several prisons in Italy. And he also invented this direct connection, try to blur the line between the prison and the town, designing an element that forced the guards dormitories and the management area. And inside the boundary of the prison, we have several buildings for activities, workshop, laboratories, sport, and also educational activities. And as you can see here, you can see again that these architects tried to remove the neutrality of just one pole. Because if you control energy from one point, you have one person that has all the power on people. But if you have different centers, different poles, there is not just one person that can control it. So you have room to negotiate and find a relationship. In 1979, an important field of the cultural architecture, OMA, was involved in the redefinition of what was the last surviving panopticon in Europe. They decided, they accepted the law, they accepted to redesign, and used the way the same approach, remove the center. So they designed a cross connection, an accepting cross connection that slightly changed the position of the core, removing the central power and connecting the cardinal direction of the prison, not with the force of control, but to make more dynamic the activities inside the building. And moreover, they decide to explode the boundary of the panopticon, projecting the life of the inmates outside the circular perimeter. So they attack directly both the center and the circularity of the panopticon. So also in this case, we can see that the trend is moving toward the multi-centric approach to different elements, different fragments that dynamically dialogue. This is an interesting, very interesting program. Even it is very small, but it was very, very important. This is a design by Giovanni Pucci. His last project. And he didn't see the end of this project. actually. This is very interesting because Giovanni Michelucci, you have to know that Giovanni Michelucci was an architect strongly against the idea of prison. Strongly against the idea of prison. He also wrote about this. But he decided to do this project because he was directly involved by inmates of social prison. A prison developed during the 70s, affected to the changing in policies during that period, because we have known a new terrorism during that period. So while the idea of imprisonment was changing toward a more human approach, the government decided to make them again a place of pure punishment during the 70s. And another issue in this period is that the government decided to stop any architectural competition for prison. So the architect was able to say a word about this. We were expelled from this topic by the government. And they standardized the legality in an horrible way. And they made prison a business. An horrible business that led to a scandal that is known as golden prisons. So I think, seeing the past, I think that we have not only the right to say what we think about prison, we have to act on this topic. We want to see a change in this field. So, Michelucci designed a place for visitation and designed a building, an organic building with 2 different levels and an outdoor space, a garden with a screen, with a theater. And the idea is that the problem that tried to solve Michelucci is that usually in regular prison, the room for visitation is a very anonymous place where the noise of everybody talking at the same time makes it impossible to have a relationship with your relatives. It is impossible, your children. It's impossible. It is also impossible to have an activity. So he decided to design a place where the inmates can decide where they want to stay, inside the building, outside in the garden, at different distances. Not only, this place is a place for events, for having a relationship with the municipality, with the exterior society. This is the reason for the theater and so on. And actually, it is designed in direct connection to the limit of the prison, because he tried to blur the line. So his idea was to change the prison from the inside, working inside the prison. Okay. Now, it's very important to understand what is the gradient of privacy when we talk about safety and when we talk about prison. When we talk about privacy, we usually think
about a place that is just our own place where we are alone with our thoughts and nobody can see. This is not correct. Because to have this kind of place, you need all the other elements of space and all the other filters that can prevent you from the public space where you are a kind of person to the private space where you are a different. You need to change your mindset while you move from a space to another. What we do in our room is not exactly what we do in the public square. Am I wrong? So, and one of these plays is what is considered tertiary territoriality. Our public space are infrastructure spaces where everybody shares the same area, way. There is no specific function of the space and no control of it. But is the place where society, yet the invented society starts. Then we have the social spaces. The social spaces are usually open spaces, but with a specific focus and a specific layout for specific activities. These are spaces that are visually connected with the surrounding environment, but where people orient the control of the area. So in this case, here we have at the level that Jane Jacobs highlighted with the expression of eyes on the sea. So you know that this place is not exactly for all. Everybody can stop, but it is not a place for everybody. I need to control with community, and I have to know that everything is fine. We're sharing the same place in the same way. Then we have the semi-collective spaces. And here, the effort of territoriality is increased. Because to have a semi-collective space, I have to assign boundaries. I have to design a layout that determines a specific use of space and how the space is used and by whom. Then we have collective space. Oh, sorry, I didn't specify. These are all pictures of prisons. Probably I have to step back. Okay. This is, for instance, this square is the square of Santa Lucia, that is a prison in Brazil. This is West Kimberley Regional Prison in Australia. This is Harder Prison, Norway. This is Harder again. And this is the collective space used by all the inmates of the same block. This is a shared space by all the inmates of the same block. So in space, this is a common area where they can cook. So very special. Then we have the semi-private spaces. This is West Kimberley prison. Semi-private spaces are usually filtered between indoor and outdoor, or between a space with a different level of privacy and what, in our common sense, is the main place of privacy, that is the private room. And we need this filter. We need this filter because
in this transition, we are living the condition of shared space, space where we need to negotiate the relationship with someone else. And we can start with just ourselves, or ourselves with a restricted number of people that share the same condition. This is the thermal prison private cell in a company. And in the interpretation of Hiller, that this is a space that constitutes a system of relationships that are continuously reconfirmed by use. What this means? This means that you can convert the space in your mental map, your mind map of your life, your intentions. This is what we do with, for instance, with posters, with portraits, customizing our personal space. This room is quite interesting because, as you can see, there are no lamps, no grids. There's a huge window where the image can see the landscape surrounding it. Moreover, this sounds strange, but the toilet is close by a wall, it's heated. This is not a regular condition. A regular condition in prison is that the water closet is directly, it's possible to see directly the water closet from the door. The guard can control you in very private situation, regular condition. But in the case of contemporary architecture, prison architecture in particular in Stockholm, but also in Alden and other prisons, this is not good. A private space has to be private, just for the individual. Okay, case studies. This project is an example of designing a low-rise building based on the use of data and the visual connection to nature. In this case, we still see a core where the guards are in control of the branches of this building, but as you can see, the cells are private, the toilets are closed, and there is a gradient of spaces starting from the private to the semi-private to the semi-collective and slower than the collective space. And what is more important is that the central part of the branch of the building in the block is dedicated not just to the walkway, but to the shared activity, to the educational activity, or sport, or laboratories. So the centrality, actually the centrality of the building is not exactly the control, but the activity, the educational activities. Okay, this is Storstrom, and this is a layout that is not so new. As you can see, we have branches connected to a central core, but as you can see, we can highlight two things. That is, we have several different cores, so not just one. And moreover, at the center of the entire prison, there are the social activities. So the laboratories, the theater, the area for sport. So also in this case, the architects are criticizing the idea of the centrality of power. And as you can see here, we have a perfect gradient from private, semi-private, collective. I have to highlight that this layout is not actually new because it is followed by the plan of Stuttgart prison developed in 1975. And this was the first approach, this kind of individual access. As you can see, toilet is directly visible from the floor. This theater is interesting both for the relationship with the landscape that is central design, but also for an idea that is that, and the idea is that starting from the private rooms, moving toward the collective activities, you can move from this side of it to a garden. So moving from the dormitory to the laboratories, there is a pause, there is a space that can change your perception, and the space opens wide. This is very, very famous. There is also a movie by the inventors that dedicate a part to this prison. And also in this case, the architects decided to integrate the landscape in the building, the layout, and except from the shape of these dormitories that are twin or three, but the entire system has not a specific center. And all the buildings are differentiated according to the use, to the function, to the function of the building. So the activities, the shape of the building change, and the image can move. Can walk around the space. So also in this case, we consider the material selected by the architect. The decision is to mirror the village, the layout of the village of a small town. Because, and this is very important in no way because the image, cleaner, is not something any is part of the society. And at the end of the treatment, he will come back to the society. So the question that they try to answer, what kind of person he will be at the end of the prison? So they need to give to these people a life that is in a way as close to their regular life as possible. Because they want citizens, no aliens. And in Harlem, you can see that they also consider the activity, and they decide that an apartment that replicates a regular condition, where the inmate can meet for several days, their families, because it is very important to maintain the relationship between the inmates and their relatives. Maastricht in Spain. Maastricht in Spain is another prison developed in 2012 that consider the centrality of the void more important than the thought on the image. And this is so important in the idea of the architects that the guards are not inside the building, are not inside the prison. They are at the limit of the area where the prison connects to the street. And inside the building, inside this building, only professionals and volunteers work. So this is place where the inmates can improve their professional skill, the professional level, and so on. The shape of the roof is designed to in a way replicate the silhouette of the landscape that surrounds the prison. And actually, the inmate can see the landscape of their cells. West Kimberley. West Kimberley is very, very interesting because here we don't have perimeter walls. The boundary of this prison is the transparent fence. And the image has that a direct visual connection, and rather a direct visual connection to the surrounding. Moreover, as you can see, there are several fragments that do not compose just one building. And at the center of this system, there is an empty space that is used for collective scores. And there are different, you can identify different codes where the bundles orbit, because this layout is designed for including the sense of community with a small group of people. All the other buildings are dedicated to education, work activity, laboratories, and so on. So also in this case, this is a very clear example of how to organize the space considering the importance of visual connection and the connection to nature for the psychological well-being of the inmates. And then Santa Lucia, not just a building, it's a system. Because in Santa Lucia, there are no policies, just volunteers and professionals. And these volunteers and professionals work both on the side of the inmates and on the side of the families. Because some of them are here due to their economic and social condition, poor economic and social condition. So the aim of APAC Santa Lucia is to improve the social condition of the family for supporting the inmates when they come back to society. And what is strange for us, maybe, is that it's this square. This square is the discussion area. And this square is where the inmate and the family meet. The three sides. It is not closed. It's open and directly connected to the street. So the inmates go outside the prison, meet their relatives, and then they come back. And they come back because they know that the system of ABAC Santa Lucia is helping them and their families. So they have no reason to stay. And as you can see, the public and collective area is the largest one. Because the aim of this prison is to reconnect people with society. So it has to provide a dimension of society. Yeah. And as you can see, there is also an attention to the relationship with the building and ground level. And now measuring the privacy experience. I had the question during my research. I had to answer. And okay, all this stuff, interacting, how can I measure the level of privacy of the building? To answer this question, I used mainly two different techniques that are the space syntax analysis and the visibility analysis. Space syntax analysis is a topological approach and consider the spaces as a network of elements. So using the space syntax analysis, you can analyze the level of centrality of the nodes, the distance between the elements, without considering the dimension. It's just a way we consider the network, the connections between the spaces. The level of control depends, as we've seen in history, depends on the centrality, while the visibility analysis is based on the concept of isolist. Isolist is the vectorial field that represents everything you can see from above the point. And it was, I'm using them. So here you can see the gradient visibility inside the building. And using the metrics of space syntax and the metrics of visibility analysis, I developed a formula for computing the level of privacy that is a synthetic measurement of the entire privacy of the building. And using this metric, and here you can see some of the elements used in this computation and different prisons, how different prisons are responding well to the level of control, the level of integration of the spaces, and the level of differentiation of the spaces. And using these values of privacy, I convert the design of cherry, oval, and panopticon that are the three examples, the three references that are still used in a lot of prisons around the world. We use the case studies project actually try to present a new idea compared to these examples. And as you can see, comparing this architecture, we can see that the contemporary architecture have a much more intense than the panopticon, the oval, and cherry yield. And moreover, we can see that there is a trend in contemporary architecture. They try to increase the level of privacy in the prison. Level of privacy address the gradient privacy, so the expression of the space. So the trend is moving toward a mirror of regular society. I want to think about this project that was very interesting. That is a conversion of a prison built in the 18th century into the first. Very impressive. The architect, person speaking, decided to remove just partially the wall of the prison, making the interior space more fluid, optimizing the relationship between the inside and the outside, the landscape, the visual relationship with the town surrounding the park and prison, and dedicating spaces to cultural activities. So here, I think here we can see a possible direction where the prison will be no more confined space, but spaces that can reconnect the individual with the society. And probably we we could see even a changing in the meaning of the name of prison that we already have seen in history. For instance, the name of Basilica in ancient ages were the place of where the justice and the economic activities were administered. And I mentioned this in the future where our idea of prison will be no more from that space, but it's a space of relationship. Everyone of the relationship between the person and the society. Thank you. Are you shocked? I'm in time now. Wait.
Doesn't it really question the concept of punishment? Because these people actually have something illegal. I remember that we were in Norway was
Yeah, sure. He's still there.
I mean, how? If you say it's kind of a mirror of a thing, but it's even better than the because in the trailer, the experience sometimes people at the start of work from 9 to 5. We have a lot of problems to solve in such kind of cases. They really is like a relate that is a dream of many people without any education, without training, and you don't need to be worried about anything. So, and also the first one that I said about computers. Yeah, it's like a new.
It's like I need to highlight something
About this approach. First, justice is not revenge. This is very important. The aim of justice, I know that we are attacked with suffer as human, it's natural and is feeling. We want revenge. It's very feeling inside us. But this is not the aim of justice. The aim of justice is to repair balance in society. And moreover, this is what, in a way, they highlight, and they're very confident in this. It is very important to understand that the punishment has an end. It's not an endless. You cannot give an endless punishment to someone. So at the end of the punishment, that person will go back in society. So for them, it's more important what kind of person will be back in society rather than punish the person that he is today. So the prison needs to provide the time to renegotiate this relationship and also to assess if the person is dangerous, not at the end of the punishment. And this is an issue with the guy in Norway. In fact, I don't remember the name, but he has the longest punishment known in Norway that is 21 years. So yeah, also for them, answering this question, but you need time. You need time to talk with this person, with these people. You need time to find a way to understand their way of thinking, how they act, why they are acting this way, and how they can act differently. Because at the end, you have to set it free. So these are placed designed for this purpose. This is the first. Second thing, I have this critic several times. All these results are luxury. Actually, this is not really true. It's not true that, oh, I see this prison, something that you can write and say, oh, yeah, I want to prison, I have to stop working and go to this prison. I kill someone and I'm getting this luxury life. There are two things that make this statement wrong. First of all, we want to be inside the society. We want to share society. We don't want to be confined in just one place. Almost no one. Second, in this place, they are not just free to do nothing. They are involved in it. They have to do something. So they have to study, improve their skills, talk to psychologists, to sociologists. They have to. It's not a free job. And another thing is that if someone is so desperate to decide to make a crime, just to be there, he's asking your help. So probably this is a place of finding the solution, like in other here. Someone is asking your help, and they are trying to answer. You are so desperate. So under your freedom, just for a peace and okay.
Is the collective process to adapt these buildings to these, let's say, instance, like the high level of criminality, except these kind of
Not exactly. Yeah, you are not right, but this is not exactly. We see the Norway example. If we see the Norway example, you have to consider that in the same prison we have different levels, and also not also Alden, but also not only Alden, but also also this one here. This building is dedicated to Alden, for instance, while this other are dedicated to low level. So there is a niche of levels inside of this atlas, as you can see. This building is separated from this. So also in this case, it is the building. Norway is different because it is a system, a progressive system. You can start from a prison like Alden or another prison of high security, and then year by year, testing your improvements, you can ask to be moved to a different level of imprisonment, and spreading that you are active and proactive and trying to be part of society, be a citizen, you can progressively move to more open prison and low-level prison. So yes, this factor too, that it is a system. So actually, another answer to your question is that we shouldn't consider this just as one building, but as a system. If there is a system, and if the government agrees in building a system, this can work. But if the government doesn't agree and won't, the strong punishment, it will never do.
My question isn't there a problem of like how sustainable these buildings are? For example, we have one in Brazil, and we know that in Brazil we have many prisons that are overcrowded. So, for example, if you have a building that will also support families of prisoners, how can we solve like these overcrowded prisons and this kind of systems?
2 ways. One way is not using prison for everything. It is still an alcohol. Prison is not the right solution. So, for instance, in Italy, recently, we try to develop some alternatives with some social works, social activities, restorative activities, and so on. So for minor crimes, small crimes, the small crimes, probably it's not the right decision. So to everybody. So, and the idea is that the prison is what is meant to be extreme attraction. The last shot, the last thing you can use for managing high-level problems. The other way is, and in Norway there are prison that use the system, is involving prisoners in producing their food, building their furniture, and so on. So building a way a self-sufficient society that it is also very important at the educational level, because they understand that all the other people depend on the activity of one person that take care of everybody. So these are the 2 solutions that currently are active.
Was to make a better life, to redirect to a better life, normal life. But what is the situation in all of the other systems? Like, for example, how many reasons should be developed?
This situation is terrible. We see what is known around the world. The idea is that prison is just for the page. And even if we see the Italian condition, this is good. And except for some prison in North Italy, Padua and Rome. But the condition is terrible. Some of the buildings are old, in terrible condition, and moreover, the administration of this place is based on fiscal functioning as we discovered recently. And yeah, we have to, and what is an aspect even is that we are stuck. We're stuck in this condition. I've seen the side project of the new prison that should be built near Naples. And it is based on so old ideas of the imprisonment. It is based on a regular, obsessive, anonymous creed and repetition of elements. You will never see an element of architecture, an idea of architecture in this code. The only I want to say this. For instance, the difference between federal prison and night prison in Italy. The only difference is the permanent apparatus of a bidet next to the water closet. Male cannot have a bidet. Give an idea of bidet is. This is the level. This is the level. The difference between a man and a woman in Italy is how you watch yourself. This is the idea. How can you manage the relationship with a person if you consider that if this person is a man, he cannot wash his hands? How? This is the problem. This is the level. So, before having an architecture, you have to solve the cultural. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gabriele Stancato. We have a lot of problems in Italy for our prisons. We have a lot of suicides. One 53 days, more or less. So the problem of overcrowded of the state of prison is really very, very dark. So thank you very much. Great, so you have lessons. Grazie.